Spelling goes first, but we have the Dark Ritual, which is going to be nice to do triple things in our turn. Always love to see this. Okay, so we definitely want to go for the Ashnod. Nested Shambler. And we'll go for the Fairy Dream Thief to surveil one as well. It's a pretty impressive start, and Shambling Ghast is perfectly fine. If they play any low to the ground creatures like 1/1s, we can kill them pretty easily with Ashnod. 3 toughness though, that's a bit annoying. Strangely good blocker. When it dies, -1 counter. Guess we'll just go over the top for now. Just set up the following turn with them 100 1/1s. Okay, so yeah, Dina. 3 toughness, god damn it. Desperately need a kill spell. If they have a spell that deals 1 damage to all of our things or gives our stuff -1, it's going to be very sad. Meat Hook Massacre. So Dina is annoyingly a combo deck, and I don't know why the algorithm gave us this as a matchup, but there you go. Scavenging Ooze, fantastic. Cut down. We probably want to cut down now, because that Scavenging Ooze is going to be able to synergize with the Dina in horrible ways. If they gain life, we lose it. So getting rid of it now, there's nothing to really exile apart from Dark Ritual, so just keeping it cool. And we've got Thieves Guild Enforcer as well, which might help Scavenging Ooze, but yeah. Sure. So if that dies, put a counter on something. I guess we can just attack with these 2 for now. Not the end of the world. If we can get rid of this 1 power, it means we can attack willy-nilly in the following turn. So, okay, so they are just going to do it, just to absorb 1 damage. Feels pointless. Feels needless to do that, really. And then pass turn. So in their end step, we're going to flash in a Thieves Guild Enforcer. They didn't like the fact we got the Scavenging Ooze, did they? They didn't enjoy that, but yeah, we simply had to kill it. I have to say, the reaction I'm getting from using this deck is people don't know what to do, which is good. So we have the element of surprise, using cards no one really is used to seeing. And oddly enough, even though we're using this crazy meme deck, we're still getting matched against stupidly powerful decks, which is very sad. With a Bloom Command. Man, that took them a while to decide what to do there. Command Zone. Okay. So they didn't want to get back the any lands or anything. I would actually like to draw a land here just so we can play the Ashnod again. Shadow Spear. Let's just swing in. My goodness. How many things are there to look at in the graveyard? Okay, so they've chosen to block. Oh, I'm sure that'll be a huge impact. So let's go for the backup here. I think we'll put the counter on the Nested Shambler, because this has the best upside. Creates that many squirrels, and then we'll draw a card as well, because we would like a land. Land would be good. No land. Serrated Scorpion. Okay. Inquisition. Well, let's see what's in their hand then, if they're going to play secretively. Try and get rid of some removal or something. Deadly Dispute. Okay, let's get rid of that then. Feel free to use Heroic Intervention. They've got nothing. Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target player opponent loses that much. It's basically the same as Dina. It's like having 2 Dinas. And that's when if you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Same as that as well. Okay. So yeah, they're going to have some very powerful synergy pieces here. 4/4 is going to be annoying, I have to say. Okay, so we need a removal spell, please. Holding priority literally on every single thing we're doing is kind of saddening, but there you go. Let's go over the top. Start draining them a little bit, keeping up with their life gain. But they don't actually have any life gain at the moment, apart from this sack another creature, power boost. Yeah, there's no actual life gain on board, so I'm not really sure what they're gonna do. They're just at some kind of weird stalemate with us. Land, sure. Again, holding priority on literally everything we do kind of sucks, but there you go. When this dies, no, we'll leave that. We'll just go over the top here. Power of flying, my friends. Yeah. It's pretty annoying having passives that are just like 1 mana generic and you can do it at any time, and it really just slows the game down. And if they're in your hand, for instance, it just makes it even worse to feign having other spells. We're going to scry 1 in the main phase. Okay, so they're not going to hold up any surprises for us. That's good for us. The later you do things like that, the better, because it just gives away less information to your opponents. Ghost Lantern. Okay, return creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh, getting back the Scorn Blade, I think, is pretty cool. And then also having the Lantern equipped to something when something dies is also really awesome. So we can play this and equip for 1. Yeah, this is actually really good. Surprisingly good. So now they need removal, really. Because we can even attack in with a straighter Scorpion if we really wanted. Start draining them for all sorts. So they block this. They lose 2, we gain 2, and this goes up. Okay. Now, obviously, they can just play any of the... There's a few combo pieces they can do with Dino, which is scary, and they could just instantly win the game twice over because they have these passives. Ballista's Citadel at 10 life isn't so great. They're at 9. Okay. Dude. How much life are they willing to lose here? We can literally... just take them out with a couple of hits now. I suppose they're looking for life gain, right? So they can gain 3, so they're at virtually 9. And they don't have Heroic Intervention anymore. Okay. But that does mean they're going to drain us twice over. And they have a land on top. Intriguing. It's got Trample as well. Do we just Alpha Strike here? This can give something -1 or get a treasure. How big can we make the Fairy Dream Thief here? Let's go for the Scion... Sorry, the Scorn Blade Berserker. Put a counter on there, which makes more things. And then I think we just attack, don't we? Or we sacrifice this to draw a card first, because that's not going to be able to attack anyway. Right, okay, let's do that. Power up the Fairy Dream Thief here. And we can Duress, but we'll do that afterwards. I think we attack with everything. If we sacrifice the Diagraph Ghoul, it makes the Fairy Dream Thief even bigger. Okay. We're putting a lot of eggs in this basket here. Shambling Ghast. Nested Shambler gives us some squirrels. Okay. Down to 3. And we'll use Duress here, see if we can get rid of anything important. Intervention. Okay, so I think they basically have this turn. There's not much they can play off the top. If this last card is a combo piece, they can win the game right now. But unless it is, I'm not sure what they can do. They can. Oh, I guess they can. Yeah, gain 3. Go to 6. So that would just about mean they could play one of the combo pieces. Down to 24. Falconwrath Noble down to 2. Right, so now if anything dies, they gain life. That's bad for us. And they can sacrifice creatures to... Okay, so they just use Feed the Swarm. I suppose that's honourable victory there. Just killed himself, but fair enough. Okay, we get to go first against the glorious Emoti Celebrant of Bounty, which is... This feels like a completely fair matchup. This feels like a completely fair and not BS matchup. Why? Why Emoti? Crazy. Alright, let's see what we can do when this dies, when this dies. When this dies. Lots of death triggers on there. Let's go for Warlock class. And I think we're going to attack, sack the Ghast, get ourselves a treasure. It's a pretty good start to the game, wouldn't you say? And then next turn we can even go for the stage, sorry, level 2 here to draw a card if we need to. Explore. So I don't think they're going to have too many creatures here until they go for the old Emoti. So let's use the Power Stone to level this up. What do we want to get? Another land or a creature? Do we need another land? I think probably creature's more important, right? Okay, swinging for 1. Keep sacking so we get to do more things. I mean, if we can get to this level 3, that would be pretty awesome here. Pass the turn. Do we want to use a treasure for Thieves Guild? We might be using this at instant speed. Just to apply a little bit more pressure. 4 mana open. We have a surprising amount of mana already, considering we've got 2 black sources. Weirding Wood. Okay, so they're definitely going to go for the Emoti in the following turn. Can we keep up with such evil? Okay, Leafkin Druid. So we can probably kill that in the following turn. Let's go for the Thieves Guild here first, using that treasure. So now I kind of wish I had lands, but okay. That's fine. So let's use Fatal Push, because we want to save the Blood Cheese Thirst for the Emoti. A non-skeleton creature died under your control this turn. Guess we can go for the Shadow Spear. Equip that to the Thieves Guild Enforcer. And we might as well go for the Festering Mummy as well. No, I don't think I want to sack just yet. Although getting to the Warlock class is going to be... Level 3 is going to be pretty important if we can. If they have a River's Rebuke, we're just dead, I think. Because we just lost too much value. We'll see what they do. They might have some other horrendously big spell. 3, 4, 5, 6... But they have to be careful, though, because if we do get to this Warlock class level 3... Oof, Nissa. It's pretty annoying.
Into the flesh of the multiverse.
They're thinking about destroying one of these things. Oh, wow, okay. They're taking their turn off to do that, but they're going to lose the Nissa. Which is intriguing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have to finish her off, otherwise it's just It's just not going to be too good to have that lying around. So they really, really did respect the power level of Warlock class, didn't they? That's impressive, considering it's an uncommon 1-drop. Here comes a Moti. And they get a Arixmethes. Oh my god, that's strong. But that's not online just yet, but it has ramped them even more. Killing the Emoti here isn't actually going to solve any of our problems either, which is kind of annoying, but... Get rid of the Dusk Wielder. Get a 3-3. If we sack the Festering Mummy, that kills the Emoti anyway, so we might be doing that, actually. Iron Apprentice. We don't need to reveal that just yet. Do they have any... These artworks are really cool for these zombies, aren't they? So, sacrifice the Festering Mummy. So, plan A is putting a minus counter on the Moti. Hopefully this can get on. If they have hexproof or something, it's going to be a bit annoying, but... Okay. Seems good. And they can just draw a card here with a clue. Down to 9. I think we'll go for the Cult Conscript. And Iron Apprentice as well. So, as I said, if they have any form of mass bounce, we are in trouble. And they haven't quit, which means they could very well have something very, very good. But I think we've done pretty well considering that we're a 1-drops deck and they've got mythics and rares coming out of the wazoo. 1 with the multiverse. Ooh, that's not very good. So they can play a free spell from the hand or the top of the deck each turn. If they have an extra turn spell, we're going to be in a lot of trouble here. You may cast a spell from your hand on top of your library. They can't do Emoti. What are they targeting all of our things with? About mass portal to Phyrexia. Okay, so they're going to sack 3 of our things. Oh, that's very bad. That's very bad. 1, 2, 3, I guess, and they can revive creatures from any graveyard in their upkeep. They've got... Ugh, this is not very good, is it? I guess we can return this again. We've got 6, 7, 8. We've got 5 cards in the graveyard. If they had 8, this would be lethal. Oh, that's so sad. Dungeon Crawler. So they can revive one thing. 3, 4, 5. So if we did that. Not sure what to do now. Do we just die? Not sure. Is there any way to deal an extra... So we've got 8. We're literally 1 off lethal. Oh, that's annoying. There's no way to put 3 cards in the graveyard. I guess we just go for... I guess we go for attacks. So they are going to block. Down to 4. So they need another mass bounce spell. I guess we'll go for Ashnod because we can't help that they're going to get revive a creature here. We can't stop that. Could be any one of these. Could be Leaf Kindred or that one. So just go for the Dungeon Crawler. And I think we're going to move this across to Dungeon Crawler, because if they want to kill the Thieves Guild Enforcer, it's going to weaken our field considerably anyway. So if we move the equipment over to something that they're maybe less likely to kill, we'll see what they do. Right, so they're going to need something good, and they haven't quit. And if they do get a big blocker like Eric's with these, we can kill it with the Blood Chief's Thirst, so we'll see. Even if we don't win this, we've done pretty well, I think. So that's a land at the top. And they're going to go for Emoti to Cascade. And they get a Guardian Project. So they draw even more cards from that. Okay. Nothing too scary yet, and we still have lethal on board. They draw an extra card. And they've not done the free spell yet. Gin-Gataxius. Core Auger, okay. And they get a Meteor Golem. Oh, that's so lucky. Wow, so many Cascade triggers. Yeah, I think there's nothing we can really do now. The fact they got Gin-Gataxius into a Meteor Golem is just too much here. Not that they needed it, of course. I mean, they already had one with the Multiverse and Portal. They can't decide what to kill. They go for the actual Trample. Interesting. Gin-Gataxius is going to draw them more cards. Okay. They've only got 1 mana open now. Well, actually, this still taps for 2, so they've got 3 open. And they draw, and they have to discard. They don't have infinite hand size. Okay. So yeah, we're in some trouble now because we can't get through 3 extra blockers. Guess we'll try to kill the. Ugh, it's all bad, right? It's all bad. Try and kill the Erixmathes. Got 3 mana open with that as well. So they're going to let that through. Interesting. All we can do is attack with everything, isn't it? And, okay. Do we want to sack? No. It's a shame. They went from, what was it, 1 or 2 blockers to 5. If we had trample on that, that would have been good. So they're going to trade. So we're going to lose the Dungeon Crawler anyway. So we might as well sack that to the Phyrexian Tower. Wow, they're going to go to 1? Okay. So then we'll use the mana here to get back Iron Apprentice. Down to 1, guys. Jeez. And they can use the -1 there to kill the Ashnod as well, if they want to. Yeah, that's a shame. And then they can resurrect Meteor Golem. Yeah, they've definitely won this game. There's nothing we can do, I don't think. We'll see what they're... I mean, they're going to resurrect... They can resurrect anything, right? Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to concede. This is kind of... this is just demoralizing at this point, but yeah. It was a pretty close try. I doubt we're going to give... Should I concede? What if we top deck something that deals 1 damage? We're just not going to be able to resolve anything, are they? And they draw a fresh 7. Storm of Saruman. Cascade. You know what? I'm going to see what happens. If we could just top deck something that deals 1 damage. If only the Thieves Guild Enforcer had more power earlier on. I mean, yeah, it's too late now, but... Warrenclex into... Okay, yeah. Now they're just going to gain life with the Tertiova, so I'm going to call that one. This was absolutely painful. Painful. But yeah, we got pretty close. This is a terrible matchup to start with, having Clothes to deal with, because they can drain so much. But let's mulligan this. Okay, we get to go first, at least. Right. We are going to have a hard time, because they have an automatic advantage, but they have mulliganed twice. Right, okay. We can ramp the following turn with Shambling Ghast and even the Springleaf Drum. And if we go for the Springleaf Drum, we can play something else. Let's go for the Surveil here. And yeah, I'm not bothered about having that on top. Let's swing in and let's get rid of the Shambling Ghast so we can get a bit more mana here and a treasure. Okay, so we've definitely got the mana to do stuff. It's just we need some kind of spell that has kicker or a way to boost our guys. Create 2 elementals. That's interesting. A string mummy dies. We can put a counter on something. We could just get rid of both of these now. I mean, it's probably not that wonderful, but it's certainly applying the pressure here, even if it isn't much. Okay. But yeah, once Clothis comes out, they've got no green sources though. Forbidden Friendship. What kind of deck is this? It's just making tokens. That's interesting. Okay. So I think we just attack with everything again, right? And we'll put it on the Fairy Dream Thief. Not too bothered about losing the Ashnod. We can just recast her later. Okay. But before she dies, I will make a 3/3 from the graveyard before they get to exile it. So yeah, we want to make the most of our graveyard first, really. And a 20. And also, if they don't get any green sources, they're not going to go for the Clothis yet. But we'll see what they do. We might just get lucky here. Okay, there's a green source. So now it's a race against time. Sulfim, yikes. Dark Ritual, okay. Okay, so we'll go over the top. Sulfim, that's interesting. Did they need to play that? Not sure. They can already probably kill our stuff with the basic spells anyway, right? They're going to go for lots of, like, random damage effects. Okay, we'll get rid of... Cost of me Graveyard. Get rid of this Sparring Construct. In a weird way, Ashnod is like a very cheap version of Scarab God, which lets you exile stuff and, yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a Pilfering Imp. So annoyingly, they are managing to keep us at bay here. But yeah, so whatever they choose with the Clothis, we're just going to counterpick it with the Ashnod if it's a creature. But we only have creatures. So view battlefield. They're picking the Shambling Ghast, so we'll pick the Shambling Ghast, please. Scary thing is that they have a board wipe. It's going to just absolutely annihilate everything we've just made. And so because we counterpick it, they don't gain in life either. And they get a improvised club, 4 damage to any target. But they have to sacrifice something, and also Goblin Bombardment. Okay, so I'm actually not that bothered, because this would lose something to do it. Witty Roast Master. So they've made an interesting build here that counts on tokens. This is something we do not see very often. And these were exiles, right? They were exiled with the Wren's Resolve. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so I think we're just going to attack with everything here. We want to start getting the damage in. And yeah, this is going to result in us losing a couple of things, but interesting. down to 7. Okay, so now we're going to counter pick again if they choose one of our creatures, which is highly likely unless they go for Dark Ritual. Nope, they haven't learned the lesson. They keep going for our creatures. If they went for Dark Ritual, for instance, we would not have been able to pick that, so they would have actually drained for 2. But now I feel like they're in a very bad situation. Goblin Bombardment. Sack a creature, 1 damage to any target. Okay, so they can sack one of their better creatures to kill our worst creatures. Intriguing. Are they really going to sack the Arable Flamesmith? Surely not. Surely not. That's a wild thing to do. It looks like this Fairy Dream Thief has really put the work in. Sacrifice artifact or creature. They only have 2 creatures. I think we might have them, guys. Swinging in. No. Yes. No. Maybe so. Okay. No. Yes. No. And now the spell's gone. Fantastic. So if we do this, it means that they can't block one of the 3/3s with the Solving. Would you just Alpha Strike anyway? I think we just Alpha. Because they can only block 6. They still get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's exact C's, right? So block 6, take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. And they're not going to get to their turn. So as expected. And we might as well do this in response, get rid of this. Wow, it's really proven to be pretty effective here. Although they can do the block and then sack technique, can't they? Oh damn, that's a shame. 1 damage to any target. Ah. Yes, I did forget that. Okay, fine. Down to 2. So actually, annoyingly, they're going to get to 4 now. Damn, that was stupid. I should have waited. I should have waited to use the Ashnod. Okay. Oh, that was bad. But they only have 1 blocker. Is this going to be a board wipe? Do they have a board wipe? Oh, they're doing to us. Anger of the Gods. Okay, well, actually, that actually would not have made a bit of difference at all then, would it? Because they would have had the answer. So, oh, here we go. 7. Okay, so now they're going to need another answer for Stonecoil Serpent. This was pretty rough. This was pretty rough. So they're going to go to 6 now. Okay, they're going to exile the Fairy Dream Thief. Hoarding Outburst, create 3 1/1s. This has Trample, so that's going to deal 4 over the top. Oh, that's so irritating. Fatal Push. We're at 10. Oh my god. So if they block and then do the sack thing, it's not going to work. Because that will reduce the toughness to 0. Now, if they don't know how this works, then they've just killed themselves. I'm pretty sure they've just killed themselves because now 7 trample damage goes over. GG's, boy. Oopsie daisy. Yep. So, if you block a creature with trample, your toughness is calculated in that combat, right? So this would have done 6. But if you do the trick when people normally, block and then do something with the creature after, the toughness goes to 0. So the entire damage goes through. So sadly, it does not work the way they thought it does. And yeah, I'm glad I won that because that Anger of the Gods was an insanely lucky draw they had. But I suppose it means that my mistake I made of creating the 3/3 in my turn wouldn't have mattered anyway, because if I'd made it in their turn, it would have blown up anyway. Okay, so that was a very lucky recovery, but yeah, the outcome luckily was a win here. Hello and welcome to today's crazy deck tech inspired by one of my good friends in my Discord, Toasty, who suggested making Ashnod deck. I do apologise. I have hijacked the commander for my 75 1-drops series, so I do apologise. I'm toasty, but I hope you still enjoy this build. So as I said, it's 75 1-drops, and you can see the list is pretty long here because that's just the way it is. It does include X spells because I do cheat a bit. These are technically 0 on the stack, so we'll be getting to those in a second. We only have 30 lands in the deck because we don't need too many, but we still want to hit consistent land drops to be able to continuously play 1-drops. So I'll talk about a few of the things that are kind of important or integral to the deck, or just fun or useful. Mox Amber is great just to ramp you up on turn 1. It means you can have this and your Ashnod, which means 2 mana on turn 1 is pretty good, and then 3 mana on turn 2, hopefully, allows you to do some naughty things. The Cold and Familiar combined with the Cauldron lets you do this stupid Cat Cauldron combo, which is kind of annoying to face. And we also got Blood Chief. That's interesting. So any spell with a kicker still counts. It's still a 1-drop with a kicker of 3. So this can kill any creature or planeswalker essentially, which is kind of good for 4 mana. Things like Bone Shards is important. We've got over 40 creatures in the deck, and we keep making them. So we'll be able to use our guys to kill some of our big opponents' creatures that are going to get in our way. Something like Concealing's Curtains is nice because it's a 1-drop, but it does so much more than that. It's a Defender 0/4. But paying 3 transforms it as a sorcery into Revealing Eye, which basically swaps a card in the hand for a new one, which is pretty damn good of a card used in normal decks anyway. Cult Conscript and loads of creatures like this in the deck that just keep coming back from the graveyard, which is useful because Ashnod wants you to sacrifice creatures in order to create tapped Power Stones. Now, bear in mind, you don't have to do this, but getting access to her 5 mana ability is going to be very potent to make 3/3 zombies, which is just pretty awesome. Cards like Duress, amazing to look at your opponent's hand and get rid of threats, which is going to be very important because when we're playing a Mimi deck. Dark Ritual on turn 1 is the most ultimate thing you can do to drop 3 1-drops. Pretty demoralizing for your opponent. Evolve Sleeper is nice, another form of card where it's a 1-drop and it levels up and essentially becomes 3, 4, 5, 6 extra mana, but becomes a very potent threat later on. We've got things like Eye Twitch. When they die, you get abilities. So anything that dies and gives you abilities is going to be really good. Festering Newt, when this dies, gives something -1/-1. So you have kill spells built into your sacrifice effects. Ghost Lantern's nice because whenever a creature you control dies, put a counter on a creature, so you can basically level up your tiny creatures and allow you to just battle a bit easier against opponents' things. Malakir Rebirth is a nice way to squeeze half a land in, basically, as well as a way to resurrect one of your creatures that you may have set to Ashnod. And as we get towards the bottom, all these insanely cool cards. We've got some artifacts. Shadow Spear gives you a bit of lifelink and trample, which can be useful. Prosthetic Injector may be one of the best cards in the whole deck because giving your guys a toxic one means that 10 hits will eventually kill them. I know it sounds a lot, but sometimes that's going to be your only win con, so bear that in mind. Soul Stealer Axe in this deck is crazy how much, whenever you deal damage with a creature, you're going to seek a card from your deck equal to the damage. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got the Hangman Walker and Stonecoil Serpent, which are X creatures basically that get huge. And when Hangman Walker dies, you also get, Thopters to replace itself. And also, as you're going along sacrificing creatures, creating Power Stones, you can then use the Power Stone mana to go towards these artifact spells because there's not that many artifacts in this build. But also, it doesn't really matter too much because you're powering up this ability to go for the 5-mana ability to exile creatures from your graveyard to create 3/3s, which hopefully should overwhelm your opponent. So I hope you've enjoyed this deck tech. It was really fun. If you want to see me create the red and the green in the list, tell me your suggestions below for what you'd like me to use for the mono red 1-drop commander. There's not too many choices, but let's see what you guys think. If you'd like to support the channel because you think I deserve some nice rewards for being a crazy player and making silly decks like this in the queue, then you can look at my description box below where you'll see a Patreon link where you can discover ways to support the channel, and Ko-fi if you fancy just donating a one-off amount, which is nice. Take a look there as well. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.